The space station Gyeolsung hung like a giant metal flower in the darkness of space. At its center, where the richest people lived, stood the Imperial Palace. Its walls shone with special metals that caught the light of nearby stars. Inside the palace, Empress Gia stood at a large window. Her special robes changed colors to show her mood. Right now they glowed angry red. She looked out at the thousands of lights that made up her kingdom. A massive space station with 5 rings, each one home to different classes of people. The outer rings were poor. The inner rings were for the wealthy and powerful. "This human is becoming a problem," she said. Her voice was quiet but sharp. Behind her, Commander Day stood straight, his uniform perfect, his face showing no emotion. He was the head of the Empress's military forces and had served her for 20 years. "Which human, Your Radiance?" he asked, though he already knew the answer. "The mechanic, Han Tai." She turned from the window, her dark eyes narrowed. 3 times now my engineers have declared ships beyond repair. 3 times this common worker has fixed them. Commander Day nodded slightly. "He is skilled, Your Radiance." "Skilled?" The Empress's robes flashed brighter red.
"He is dangerous."
"Do you know what he did last month?" She walked to a control panel and pressed her hand against it. A large screen appeared in the air. It showed pictures of a small mining colony on a distant moon. The mining colony in Sector 7 requested weapons to protect themselves from pirates. I denied their request. She swiped her hand and the image changed to show defense systems installed around the colony. 2 weeks later they have these. Built from mining equipment and spare parts. Guess who helped them? "Han Tai," Commander Day said. "Yes, and that's not all." The Empress touched the screen again. Now it showed a small repair shop in the station's outer ring. Inside, a man with messy black hair worked on an engine. He looked ordinary, just a worker in dirty clothes. But his hands moved with amazing skill as he fixed complex machinery. "He teaches others," the Empress said. "He shares knowledge that should belong only to the Imperial engineers. He gives the lower rings skills they should not have." Commander Day frowned slightly. "Your Radiance, while this is troubling, is it worth your personal attention?" "He is just one mechanic." The Empress turned to him, her eyes cold. "Just a mechanic? Let me show you something else." She changed the screen again. Now it showed official records from the Imperial database. 3 days ago, someone accessed restricted technical files. Military designs, power core specifications, engine blueprints that only my top engineers should see. "And you believe it was Han Tai?" Commander Day asked. "I know it was," she said. "The access codes used belonged to Chief Engineer's son, but he was at an official dinner with me when the files were accessed. Someone stole his codes." She closed the screen with a wave of her hand. "This mechanic threatens everything we have built. If the lower rings learn to repair their own ships, build their own technology, what do they need us for?" Commander Day understood now. The Empire maintained control by keeping the outer rings dependent on Imperial technology and services. If people could fix things themselves, that control would weaken. "What would you like me to do, Your Radiance?" "I can send soldiers to arrest him." The Empress shook her head. "No, your soldiers failed twice already. The first time, he escaped before they arrived. The second time, the locals warned him." She walked to another part of the room where a different control panel waited. This one required not just her handprint, but also a retinal scan. As she completed the security checks, a hidden door in the wall slid open. "This time I will send something he cannot escape." Commander Day followed her through the door into a dark corridor. The air here felt colder, and strange sounds echoed from somewhere ahead, scratching noises and low growls. They entered a large, circular room with a transparent dome ceiling that showed the stars. In the center of the room was a massive containment chamber made of the strongest metals in the Empire. Inside, something moved in the shadows. "Bekho," the Empress said, approaching the chamber. At the sound of its name, the creature inside moved closer to the transparent wall. Commander Day tried not to step back as 6 glowing eyes appeared in the darkness. The beast was the size of a small shuttlecraft. Its body resembled an ancient earth dragon from human stories, but with modifications that made it more terrifying. Its scales shifted colors like active camouflage. 6 eyes arranged in a circle could see in all directions. Massive wings were folded against its body, and claws that could tear through ship hulls extended from powerful limbs. "The dragon beast," Commander Day whispered. Everyone in the Empire had heard of the Empress's secret weapon, but few had seen it. The creature was a mix of genetic engineering and advanced technology, a living weapon created to hunt and kill the Empress's worst enemies. "Beck-Ho has never failed a hunt," the Empress said, pride in her voice. She placed her hand on a scanner next to the containment chamber. "I will give it the mechanic's scent and genetic profile. By morning, Hantai will no longer be a problem." Commander Day looked at the beast with concern. "Your radiance using Beck-Ho inside the station itself. There could be other casualties." "Beck-Ho is precise," she replied, "and I don't care if a few people from the outer rings are harmed. It might teach them a lesson about helping enemies of the Empire." She turned to face Commander Day fully. "Tonight I will release Beck-Ho. By tomorrow this mechanic will be eliminated and his little revolution with him." In the containment chamber, the beast moved closer to the wall, as if it understood its mission was coming. Its 6 eyes focused on the Empress, waiting for her command. "Prepare the release protocols," she ordered Commander Day. "And inform the Imperial Guard to stay away from the outer rings tonight. I don't want them interfering with the hunt." Commander Day bowed deeply. "As you command, Your Radiance." As they left the chamber, the Empress looked back at her dragon beast. Its scales had begun to glow with anticipation, shifting from black to a deep hunting blue. "Soon," she whispered to it, "soon you will hunt again." In the outer ring of Gyeolsung Station, Hantai worked late in his small repair shop, unaware that the Empress had just marked him for death. He hummed quietly as he fixed a broken air filter for a family who couldn't afford to buy a new one. Outside his shop, the busy life of the station continued, workers returning home, vendors selling food, children playing in the narrow corridors. None of them knew that in a few hours, the most dangerous creature in the Empire would be unleashed in their midst, hunting for the mechanic who dared to share knowledge the Empress wanted to keep for herself. Hantai wiped sweat from his forehead as he finished fixing the air filter. His small repair shop was hot and crowded with broken machines. Tools hung on the walls and parts filled every shelf. The air smelled of metal and oil. Through the small window he could see the dim lights of the outer ring where the poorest people of Gyeolsung Station lived. "There," he said, closing the filter's case. "Good as new." A young woman named Jin stood nearby watching him work. She was his assistant, a quick learner with clever hands. "The family will be happy," she said. Their children were getting sick from the bad air. Han nodded. "And it only took 3 hours to fix instead of 3 months' wages to replace." He handed the filter to Jin. "Can you test it one more time?" As Jin took the filter to the testing bench, Han stretched his tired back. He had been working since early morning, fixing things the Imperial engineers said couldn't be fixed. Or wouldn't fix. Not for people from the outer rings who couldn't pay high prices. The shop door slid open with a soft hiss. A small boy ran in, his eyes wide with excitement. "Master Han," the boy called. "Look what I made." He held up a small device made from scrap parts. Han smiled and knelt down to the boy's level. "Let me see, Min." Min was one of many children who came to Han's shop after school. Han taught them basic repair skills, how to fix their own toys, how to repair simple home devices. The Imperial officials didn't like this. They said only licensed engineers should know such things. Han examined Min's creation. It was a small light that turned on when someone clapped their hands. Simple but clever for a 10-year-old boy. "Excellent work," Han said. "You connected the sound sensor perfectly." Min beamed with pride. "I want to be like you when I grow up. Fix things that others can't." "You'll be better than me," Han told him. "Now go home before it gets too late. The night shift will start soon." After Min left, Han turned to Jin. "How many children came for lessons today?" 15, Jin said. "More than yesterday." "Word is spreading," Han nodded, pleased. Each child who learned to repair things was one less person dependent on the Empire's services. One more person with useful skills. One step closer to the future Han dreamed of, where people from all rings had the knowledge to take care of themselves. The shop door opened again. This time a tall man entered quickly, looking nervous. It was Guy, a dock worker who often brought Han news from other parts of the station. "Han," Guy said in a low voice. "We need to talk, alone." Han looked at Jin. "Can you finish up here? I'll be back soon." He led Guy to a small back room where he kept his most important tools. Once the door was closed, Guy spoke quickly. "You're in danger. Big danger." Han wasn't surprised. The Imperial guards had tried to arrest him twice before. "What now?" More guards coming to shut down my shop? Guy shook his head. Worse, much worse. I was loading cargo near the central ring when I overheard two Imperial officers talking. The Empress herself has ordered your death. Han felt a cold feeling in his stomach. The Empress? Are you sure? Yes, they said she's sending Bekho after you tonight. Han's face went pale. Everyone in the station had heard stories about the Empress's dragon beast, a monster created in secret labs designed to hunt and kill without mercy. Some thought it was just a story to scare people, but Han had seen enough Imperial technology to know such a creature could exist. How much time do I have? He asked. I don't know. Hours, maybe. The officers said it would be released tonight. Han took a deep breath. Thank you, Guy. You should go now. It's not safe to be seen with me. After Guy left, Han stood still for a moment, thinking fast. Then he went back to the main room where Jin was waiting. What's wrong? She asked, seeing his face. The Empress has decided I'm too much trouble, Han said. She's sending her dragon beast to kill me. Jin's eyes widened. Bekho? It's real? Apparently. Han moved quickly to a wall that looked solid but wasn't. He pressed his hand against it in 3 places, and a hidden panel slid open. Inside was equipment he had been saving for an emergency. We need to evacuate, he told Jin. Get the important data drives and the prototype. Use the back exit and go to the safe house in Ring 4. Jin began gathering the items but stopped suddenly. What about you? You're coming too, right? Han shook his head. No. If I run, the beast might hurt others looking for me, and the Empress will just send it again later. But you can't fight it. No one can. Han pulled out a strange device from the hidden compartment. It looked like a mix between a weapon and a tool. Maybe not. But I've been preparing for something like this. The Empire isn't the only one with advanced technology. Jin stared at him. What are you going to do? Han's eyes had a determined look. I'm going to try something that's either very brave or very stupid. He handed her a small data chip. If I don't make it, this has plans for everything I've built. Share it with everyone. Jin took the chip, her hand shaking slightly. Be careful, Han. After Jin left through the secret exit, Han began preparing the shop. He moved tables and equipment to create a large open space in the center. From his hidden supplies, he took out devices that looked like small pillars and placed them in a circle. Each one had blinking lights and complex circuits inside. As he worked, Han thought about how he had come to this moment. He had been born in the outer ring, the son of maintenance workers. From childhood, he had shown a talent for fixing things. The Empire noticed and offered him a place in the Imperial Engineering Academy, a rare opportunity for someone from the outer rings. For years, he had trained with the best engineers in the Empire. He learned how Imperial technology worked. He saw how the Empire kept the best knowledge secret, how they made simple repairs expensive so people stayed poor and dependent. When he finished his training, instead of taking a comfortable job in the inner rings, Han returned to the outer ring. He opened a small repair shop and began teaching others what he knew. The Empire didn't like this. They sent warnings. Then fines. Then guards. Now they were sending a monster. Han connected the last device and checked his work. The circle of pillars hummed with power. In the center, he placed a small platform with sensors that could read biological and mechanical signals. Almost ready, he muttered to himself. He went to another hidden compartment and took out his most secret creation, a neural interface device he had built using plans stolen from Imperial databases. It was designed to communicate with advanced AI systems. Han had modified it for a different purpose. As he prepared the final connections, he heard something. A soft sound from above, like claws on metal. Then silence. Han looked up at the ceiling vents. Something was in the station's maintenance tunnels. Something big. It's here, he whispered. He quickly finished his preparations and stood in the center of the circle. The devices around him glowed with blue light. In his hand, he held the neural interface, ready to use it when the time came. Han Tai took a deep breath and waited for the Empress's dragon beast to find him. Deep in the secure levels of the Imperial Palace, Commander Day stood before the massive containment chamber. The room was cold and filled with the soft hum of powerful machines. Guards stood at every door, their faces tense. No one liked being near Bekho's chamber. Begin release sequence, Commander Day ordered. 2 Imperial technicians moved to control panels on opposite sides of the room. They pressed their hands to scanners and entered long codes. Warning lights began to flash and a low alarm sounded. Containment field powering down, one technician announced. Genetic target locked. Tracking systems active. Inside the chamber, the dragon beast stirred. Its 6 eyes opened one by one, glowing with an eerie blue light. Its massive body unfolded from the sleeping position, scales shifting from dormant black to active hunting colors. Commander Day approached a special console. He placed a small container into a slot. Inside was a piece of cloth taken from Han Tai's shop by Imperial spies. Loading target scent and genetic profile, he said. The container was pulled into the machine. Inside, sensors analyzed every molecule, creating a perfect profile of the human target. This information flowed through cables into implants in Bekho's brain. The beast's eyes flashed as it received the data. Now it knew exactly who to hunt. It would recognize Han Tai's scent, his appearance, even the sound of his heartbeat. "Release outer doors," Commander Day ordered. With a heavy sound of moving metal, the front of the containment chamber began to open. Cold air rushed in, and Bekho moved forward, its claws clicking on the metal floor. The beast was even more impressive outside its chamber. It stood as tall as 2 men, with a long body covered in scales that shifted colors like flowing water. Its 6 eyes moved independently, scanning everything. 2 powerful wings were folded against its back, and a long tail with sharp spikes swept behind it. Commander Day stepped back as the beast turned its head toward him. He had helped create Bekho years ago, combining the DNA of ancient Earth predators with alien species and advanced technology. The result was the perfect hunter, intelligent enough to track complex targets but loyal only to the Empress. "Bekho," Commander Day said clearly. "Your target is Han Tai, human mechanic. Find him, eliminate him. Return when complete." The beast made a sound like metal grinding against stone, its version of acknowledgement. Then it moved to a large tube in the wall, a special access point to the station's maintenance tunnels. The tube opened and Bekho leaped inside. Its body seemed to flow like liquid as it entered the narrow space. The tube closed behind it. "Beast is away," a technician reported. "Tracking systems show it moving through Maintenance Tunnel 7, heading toward the outer rings." Commander Day nodded. "Inform the Empress, and make sure all Imperial personnel stay clear of the outer rings tonight." As the others carried out his orders, Commander Day looked at the screen showing Bekho's progress through the station. The beast moved with amazing speed, its body adapting to fit through narrow spaces, its scales changing color to match its surroundings. "Good hunting," he whispered. Bekho moved through the dark tunnels of Gyeol Sung Station like a shadow. These tunnels connected all 5 rings of the station, from the Imperial center to the outer rim. They carried power, water, and air throughout the massive structure. Few people ever entered them except for maintenance workers. The beast's 6 eyes allowed it to see in complete darkness. Its enhanced senses detected vibrations, temperature changes, and air movements. As it moved, its scales shifted colors to match the metal walls around it. If anyone had been in the tunnels, they might have felt a strange breeze as the beast passed. But they would have seen nothing. Bekho had one purpose now: find the human called Han Tai. The scent profile was clear in its mind. The beast could detect a single molecule of the human scent from hundreds of meters away. As it reached the tunnels above the outer ring, Bekho paused. It sensed many humans below. Their scents, sounds, and heat signatures filled its senses. The beast filtered through this information, searching for its target. There, a trace of the target scent. Bekho moved toward it, following air currents through the maze of tunnels. The scent grew stronger. The human was close. The beast found a vent above a small shop. Through the metal grate, it could see movement below. Its enhanced vision zoomed in, comparing what it saw with the target profile in its mind. Yes, the human called Han Tai was there, alone, standing in a strange circle of devices. Bekho analyzed the situation. The human appeared to be waiting. This was unusual. Most targets ran or hid. This one stood in the open, as if expecting the beast. Caution activated in Bekho's programming. It sensed something unusual about the devices around the human. The beast's implants ran a quick analysis. The devices were generating some kind of energy field. Purpose unknown. Threat level potentially high. Bekho considered its options. It could wait for the human to leave the circle. It could attack from multiple directions. It could destroy the devices first. The beast decided on direct confrontation. Its primary directive was to eliminate the target quickly. The Empress wanted results tonight. With silent precision, Bekho removed the vent cover. It looked down at the human one more time. Then it dropped into the shop. Hantai heard the soft sound of the vent cover being moved. He looked up just in time to see the beast drop from the ceiling. His heart pounded in his chest, but he forced himself to remain still in the center of his circle. Bekho landed with surprising grace for something so large. Its 6 eyes fixed on Han, glowing blue in the dim light of the shop. Its scales rippled with colors, blue, black, and silver. The beast was more magnificent and terrifying than Han had imagined. "So you're real," Han said quietly. "The famous dragon beast." Bekho tilted its head slightly, as if surprised the human was speaking to it. It took a step forward, then stopped at the edge of the circle of devices. Its eyes scanned the technology, clearly analyzing the potential threat. Han remained still. "You're even more impressive than the rumors say. A perfect blend of biology and technology." The beast circled slowly around the perimeter of the devices, never taking its eyes off Han. It was looking for a way in, testing for weaknesses. "I know why you're here," Han continued, his voice steady despite his fear. "The Empress wants me dead because I share knowledge she wants to keep secret." Bekho completed its circle and stopped. It seemed to be making a decision. Then with blinding speed it leaped toward Han. Han pressed a button on his wrist device. Instantly the circle of pillars activated. A blue energy field appeared between them, forming a dome over Han. Bekho crashed into this field and bounced back with a surprised growl. "Sorry," Han said. "I needed to slow you down so we could talk." The beast recovered quickly. It struck the energy field with its claws, testing its strength. Sparks flew where claws met energy, but the field held. "That won't last long," Han admitted. "You're stronger than I expected. But I only need a few minutes." Bekho continued its attack, moving around the field, striking from different angles. Each blow made the field flicker slightly. Han watched the beast with a mixture of fear and admiration. "You're not just a mindless killer, are you? I can see the intelligence in your eyes. The way you analyze problems. The way you adapt." The beast paused, its 6 eyes focusing on Han with new intensity. "The Empress treats you like a weapon," Han said. "But you're more than that. You're a living being. You deserve better." Bekho tilted its head again as if considering Han's words. Then it resumed its attack on the energy field, more determined than before. Han knew his time was running out. The field was weakening with each blow. He needed to act now. He raised the neural interface device in his hand. "I want to show you something. Something the Empress has kept from you." As Bekho struck the field again, Han activated the device. A soft pulse of energy spread through the circle, different from the protective field. This energy was designed not to block, but to connect. The beast froze as the pulse reached it. Its 6 eyes blinked rapidly. The neural interface was linking with the implants in Bekho's brain, creating a connection between human and beast. "Let me show you what freedom feels like," Han whispered. The neural interface glowed with soft blue light as it connected Hantai's mind to Bekho's. The dragon beast stood frozen, its 6 eyes blinking in confusion. The shop was silent except for the hum of the energy field and the quiet beeping of Han's devices. Han felt a strange sensation as the connection formed. It was like standing at the edge of a deep pool of water, looking down into unknown depths. He took a deep breath and pushed his thoughts through the interface. "I mean you no harm," he thought clearly. "I want to help you." The beast's response came not in words but in feelings and images, confusion, suspicion, the strong pull of its programming to complete its mission. "Kill the human. Return to the Empress." "You don't have to obey those commands," Han thought. "They control you with implants in your brain. I can free you from them." More confusion from the beast. Its whole existence had been defined by hunting and killing for the Empress. The idea of freedom was foreign, dangerous. Han decided to show rather than tell. Through the neural interface, he sent images from his own life. Growing up in the outer ring, learning to fix things, discovering the joy of helping others, the satisfaction of teaching children like Min, the pride of seeing someone repair something themselves for the first time. Bekho absorbed these images. Its 6 eyes now focused intently on Han. The beast's attack had stopped completely. "This is what freedom feels like," Han thought. making your own choices, finding your own purpose. The beast sent back its own memories, darkness, pain, training that rewarded killing and punished hesitation. The cold containment chamber, the emptiness between hunts when it was kept in sleep mode, existing but not living. Han felt a wave of sadness for the magnificent creature. They created you to be a weapon, he said aloud. But you could be so much more. Through the interface, Han sent a new set of images, technical schematics of the implants in Bekho's brain, the control systems, the kill switches, the loyalty programming. He had found these designs in the Imperial files he had accessed illegally. I can remove these, Han thought. I can free you from their control. The beast's response was immediate and powerful. Fear, hope, confusion. Its massive body trembled slightly. Han knew he was taking a huge risk. If he removed the Imperial controls, there was no guarantee the beast wouldn't kill him anyway. Bekho was a predator, designed to hunt and kill, but Han believed there was more to the creature than its programming. I'm going to trust you, Han said aloud, and I hope you'll trust me. He pressed another button on his wrist device. The energy field protecting him flickered and died. Now nothing stood between him and the dragon beast. Bekho could kill him with one swipe of its claws. The beast took a step forward, its 6 eyes studying Han carefully. Han stood his ground, though his heart pounded in his chest. Your choice, Han said quietly. Kill me as you were ordered, or let me help you. For a long moment, neither moved. Then slowly, Bekho lowered its massive head. Through the neural interface, Han felt the beast's decision. Not words, but a clear feeling. Help me. Han nodded and stepped forward. He reached out slowly and placed his hand on the beast's head between its eyes. The scales were warm and smooth, vibrating slightly with the creature's powerful life force. This will take time, Han said, and it might hurt. But when it's done, you'll be free. He led the beast to a large work table at the side of the shop. Bekho followed, its movements cautious but no longer threatening. The beast lay down beside the table, positioning its head where Han could reach it. Han gathered his tools and began the delicate work. The neural interface showed him exactly where the control implants were located. Small panels in the beast's scales could be opened to access the technology beneath. As Han worked, he talked to Bekho through the interface and aloud. He explained what he was doing. He shared stories about his life. He asked questions about the beast's experiences. Bekho couldn't reply with words, but through the interface, Han began to understand the creature's thoughts and feelings. The beast was far more intelligent than the Empress knew. It understood concepts like freedom and choice. It had been aware of its captivity and had longed for something more, even though it had no words for that longing. The Empress thinks technology should only serve the powerful, Han said as he carefully disconnected a control node. But I believe it should help everyone. That's why I teach people to repair things. That's why I'm helping you. Hours passed as Han worked. The shop was quiet except for the soft sounds of his tools and his voice as he talked to Bekho. Outside, the station's night cycle was in full effect. Most people in the outer ring were sleeping, unaware of the historic meeting happening in the small repair shop. Finally, Han removed the last control implant. He placed it on the table with the others, small complex devices that had kept Bekho enslaved to the Empress's will. It's done, Han said, stepping back. You're free now. Bekho raised its head slowly. The beast's 6 eyes blinked in sequence, adjusting to a new way of seeing the world. Its scales shifted colors rapidly, blues, greens, golds. As if expressing emotions the creature was feeling for the first time. Through the neural interface, Han felt a wave of sensations from the beast: confusion, wonder, relief, and something else: gratitude. Bekho stood up, its full height impressive in the small shop. It stretched its wings, nearly touching the walls on both sides. Then it turned its gaze to Han. What now? The thought wasn't in words, but the meaning was clear. Han smiled. Now you decide. You can go wherever you want. Do whatever you choose. The beast considered this for a moment. Then it sent another thought to Han. Stay with you. Han was surprised. With me? Why? Bekho's response came as a series of images and feelings. Han helping the beast. Han teaching children. Han fixing things that others said couldn't be fixed. The beast saw a connection between these actions. It wanted to understand more. You want to learn from me? Han asked. Affirmation flowed through the interface. And something more, a desire to help Han in return. To protect him from the Empress, who would surely send more hunters when Baek-ho didn't return, Han thought quickly. The Empress would indeed be furious when her dragon beast failed to kill him. She might send soldiers next or worse, and she would want Baek-ho back. An idea formed in Han's mind. A bold, possibly foolish idea. What if we send a message to the Empress? He suggested. Show her that her weapon has chosen a different path? Interest sparked in Baek-ho's eyes. The beast liked this idea. Through the interface, it sent an image that made Han laugh out loud. You want me to ride on your back? Into the Imperial Palace? Affirmation. Strong and clear. Han shook his head in amazement. That would certainly make a statement. But it's incredibly dangerous. Baek-ho sent feelings of confidence and strength. The beast believed they could do it together. It knew the palace's layout, the guard rotations, the secret passages. With Han's technical skills and Baek-ho's power, they might succeed. We would need a plan, Han said, already thinking of the possibilities. And I'd need to prepare some special equipment. Excitement flowed from the beast. This was a hunt of a different kind. Not to kill, but to change minds. To show the Empire a new way. Han looked at the magnificent creature before him. No longer a mindless weapon, but a partner with its own thoughts and desires. Together they might actually change things in the Empire. All right, Han said with a grin. Let's do it. Let's show the Empress what happens when she sends her dragon beast to kill a mechanic. Baek-ho's scales flashed bright colors of agreement. The hunt was on. Morning came to Gyeolsung Station. In the Imperial Palace, Empress Jia sat on her crystal throne. Her mood tech robes glowed with confident purple. Around her, court officials and nobles stood in careful groups talking quietly. Commander Day approached the throne and bowed low. Your Radiance, I bring news. Has Baek-ho returned? The Empress asked. No, Your Radiance. The beast has not returned to its chamber, but our sensors show no life signs from the mechanic's shop. The mission appears successful. The Empress smiled. Excellent. Send a cleaning team to remove any evidence. I want no questions about the mechanic's disappearance. At once, Your Radiance. Commander Day bowed again and turned to leave. Before he could go, a loud alarm sounded throughout the palace. Red lights flashed on control panels around the throne room. Guards rushed to the doors, weapons ready. What is happening? The Empress demanded, standing from her throne. A security officer ran to her side. Your Radiance, something has entered the palace through the east maintenance shaft. It's moving too fast for our cameras to track. Is it Baek-ho? Commander Day asked. The size matches, but... The officer was interrupted by shouts from the main corridor. The massive doors to the throne room burst open. Guards flew backward as if pushed by a great force. Court officials screamed and ran for cover. Into the throne room walked Baek-ho, the imperial dragon beast. Its scales shimmered with bright colors never seen before, blues and golds that seemed to form patterns like a language. Its 6 eyes glowed not with hunting blue but with clear intelligence, and on its back, sitting calmly between the beast's wings, was Han Tae. The mechanic wore his simple work clothes, still stained with grease. But around his neck was a device that glowed with the same colors as Baek-ho's scales. His hand rested gently on the beast's neck in a gesture of partnership, not control. Impossible, the Empress gasped, her robes flashing angry red. Guards surrounded the pair, weapons pointed at them. But they hesitated to fire at the Empress's prized beast. Han spoke in a clear voice that carried across the silent throne room. Greetings, Your Radiance. I believe this magnificent creature belongs to you. I've taken the liberty of making a few improvements. The Empress's face twisted with rage. How dare you enter my palace? Guards, kill this man immediately! The guard stepped forward, but Baek-ho let out a roar that shook the crystal decorations on the walls. The beast's wings extended to their full span, nearly touching both sides of the large room. The guards stepped back, fear clear on their faces. I wouldn't recommend that, Han said calmly. Baek-ho doesn't take kindly to threats against me now. What have you done to my beast? The Empress demanded. I freed it, Han replied simply. I removed the control implants you used to enslave it. Baek-ho now makes its own choices. The Empress turned to Commander Day. Is this possible? Commander Day stared at the beast with shock. The control implants were deeply integrated with its brain. To remove them would require exceptional skill and knowledge of our most advanced technology. Knowledge you tried to keep from people like me, Han said. But secrets have a way of getting out. The Empress's robes pulsed with dangerous red and black. You are a thief and a traitor. You stole Imperial secrets and corrupted Imperial property. Property? Han shook his head. That's where you're wrong. Baekho is a living being, not a thing to own. It deserves freedom, just like all the people in your empire deserve freedom. Baekho growled in agreement, the sound somehow more articulate than before. The Empress looked around at her guards. What are you waiting for? Kill them both. The guards raised their weapons, but before they could fire, something unexpected happened. Baekho's scales began to glow brighter. Patterns of light moved across its body, forming complex designs. From the device around Han's neck, similar patterns emerged, projecting into the air above them. What is this trick? The Empress demanded. No trick, Han said. Just a demonstration. The light patterns formed into clear images that everyone in the room could see. They showed scenes from throughout the station. Children in the outer ring learning to repair their own homes. Workers building improved air filters from scrap parts. People helping each other fix broken technology instead of paying Imperial fees. This is what I've been teaching people, Han explained. Self-reliance, cooperation, the skills to improve their own lives. The images changed to show Imperial records, the vast difference in resources between the inner and outer rings, the artificial scarcity created by Imperial policies, the technologies kept secret from most people. And this is what you've been hiding, Han continued. You keep people dependent on you by keeping knowledge from them. You make them poor by making simple repairs expensive. You punish those who try to help others. Murmurs spread through the court officials watching the display. Some looked uncomfortable. Others seemed thoughtful. The Empress's face was cold with fury. These are Imperial secrets. How dare you share them? Knowledge shouldn't be secret, Han replied. Technology should help everyone, not just the powerful. Baekho projected one final image, a map of Gyeol-sung Station with bright points of light spreading from the outer rings inward. Each light represented someone learning to repair, build, and share. It's already happening, Han said. People are learning. They're helping each other. And they won't stop, even if you kill me today. The Empress stared at the map, her expression changing from anger to something like fear. Commander Day, call more guards. I want this man executed immediately. Commander Day hesitated, looking at the images still floating in the air. Your Radiance, perhaps we should consider what he's saying. If this knowledge is already spreading, silence, the Empress shouted. I will not be questioned in my own court. She turned to the other guards. I order you to fire now. The guards raised their weapons again, but their hands trembled. No one wanted to be the first to shoot at the dragon beast. Han leaned forward and whispered something to Baekho. The beast nodded its massive head, then turned and began walking toward the exit. Stop them, the Empress screamed. But the guards moved aside, creating a path. Some even lowered their weapons completely. Han looked back at the Empress. Your empire is changing, Your Radiance. You can change with it or you can be left behind. As they reached the doors, Han pressed a button on his wrist device. Throughout the palace, screens and displays came to life. On each one appeared technical schematics, repair guides, and educational programs. All the knowledge the Empire had kept secret, now available to everyone. What have you done? The Empress whispered, watching in horror as her secrets were exposed. I've shared the knowledge, Han replied. As I always intended to do. With that, Baekho leaped forward, moving with incredible speed through the palace corridors. Guards scrambled out of their way as the beast and rider headed for the main levels of the station. By the time they reached the central ring, people were gathering around public screens, staring in wonder at the information being displayed. When they saw Han riding on Baekho's back, cheers erupted. Word spread quickly through all 5 rings of the station. The human mechanic who had defied the Empress was alive, and he rode the Imperial dragon beast as a friend, not a master. More importantly, the knowledge that had been kept from them for generations was now free for all to learn. In the outer ring, Jin waited with a group of Han students at a public square. When Baekho landed in the center of the square, children gasped in amazement. The beast lowered its head gently, allowing them to approach and touch its scales. Han slid from Baekho's back and grinned at Jin. It worked. I can see that, she said, looking at the screens all around them showing Imperial technical data. What will the Empress do now? Han shrugged. She'll try to stop this, of course. But it's too late. The knowledge is out there. People are already learning, already building. A small boy, Min, pushed through the crowd and stared up at Bayeko with wide eyes. Is it friendly? He asked Han. Han smiled. Yes, Beko has chosen to be friendly. That's the most important lesson of all. We all have choices about who we want to be. The dragon beast lowered its head to Min's level. Its 6 eyes studied the boy with gentle curiosity. Min reached out a small hand and touched the beast's scales. Beko made a soft rumbling sound, almost like a purr. What happens next? Jin asked. Han looked around at the growing crowd, at the information flowing freely on every screen, at the children approaching Beko without fear. We build something better, he said, together. In the days that followed, the Empress sent soldiers to arrest Han, but each time they found themselves facing not just a man and a dragon beast, but hundreds of ordinary people standing in their way. People who had learned to repair their own homes, build their own tools, and help their neighbors. The revolution Han had started wasn't fought with weapons, but with knowledge freely shared. And against that, even the Empress's power began to fade. As for Han and Beko, they became a common sight throughout all rings of the station. The human mechanic and his dragon beast friend, teaching, building, and showing everyone that the most powerful technology wasn't weapons or control systems. It was knowledge, freely given.